for those who don't know, this is Russell Meskimen, and he's an independent agent in the senior market. And the reason that I've asked you specifically to talk about Americo with me is because you really seem to love their Medicare supplement. You're the #1 Americo producer in the country. Since September of last year, you've written over $160,000 in premium, which has qualified you for an extra 8% bonus, as well as a $5,000 bonus for being in first place. So just so everyone knows, that contest ends at the end of February. So I suppose we can just start there. I'm thinking that the bonuses are part of what's attracting you to Americo. Am I right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I'm up over 200,000 now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. I think I've written about close to 240,000 since August. So
Awesome.
Yeah, if you do the math on that, an 8% bonus on that, about $20,000 plus the $5,000 for being #1. It's hard to pass that up.
Yeah, that'll do it for sure. And while we're talking about this, I also just want to jump in and say that Americo is coming out with new paper this year. So they've announced great rates with their subsidiary company called Great Southern Life. So depending on when you're watching this, Americo, Great Southern Life, we're referring to the same company. And also, just so everyone knows, you too, Russell, there's no contracting required. So you'll have the same agent number under GSL as you did with Americo. So that's nice.
And increasing the bonus to 10%, which is nice.
Yeah, 5 and 10%, and that's $15,000 in premium would qualify you for the 5%, and $30,000 or more would qualify you for 10%. So that is definitely nice.
Yeah.
So I just want to back up to last September when you first started writing Americo. We all know that there are a ton of options in this market. So what made you decide to give Americo a shot?
Well, being a face-to-face agent, I like to write companies that I can get the decision in the house. I don't like to write a policy and have to wait 3 or 4 days, have underwriting call my clients and ask them questions. I like to have everything done in the house. So I had a few companies that would do that, but once Americo came along, there's no medications I have to put down. It's a real easy e-app, and I get an instant decision. So that's just, and with the bonus, I can't pass that up. Getting the instant decision with the bonus in the house, because that way, if I have the decision in the house, I'm able to get their other one canceled. I don't have to worry about them returning a phone call to the underwriter. I know that everything's done while I'm there with the client.
Yeah, and the no medication thing, that's a pretty big deal, I would think. That saves a ton of time.
Yeah, the no underwriting or the no medication saves a ton of time. And also the fact that they're one of the only companies that if a client wants to pay by check, direct bill, I can still get a decision in the house, and I don't have to send off a check at that time with the client. So I can get them approved. Americo will send me a policy, a copy of the card, and when I deliver the policy, I can get a check from the client, which is really big.
Okay.
On the e-app, it will only give you the option to do annual direct bill. But once they're approved, you can call into underwriting and switch it to quarterly or semi-annual. But you want to do that right after you're done getting the approval before they send the policy out so they can get that switched over the phone. You don't have to be the client. You can do that on your own.
How many clients do you have that prefer doing checks instead of out of their bank account?
Probably, I don't know, 15, 20% maybe. I don't like doing it that way. I push hard to get them to, go the automatic bank draft route, but there's, all of us have those clients that they just simply will not do the automatic bank draft. They claim they're old school or whatever it is, that they're just going to pay by check. So I don't want to argue with them sometimes, but with every other company I know of, you have to send off a check with the application before they'll send you the policy. So that's why I like Americo, because I can get the policy, deliver it to them, and then get the check. Yeah,
I can understand that for sure, especially that's a pretty good chunk of clients who prefer it that way. So it's nice that you have that option.
It might be less than that, but I like having that as an option.
Yeah, for sure. So now you started writing in September, and now that you've had a few months under your belt and are more familiar with Americo, besides the things that you've mentioned, is there anything else that stands out to you when you compare it to other carriers in the market?
Well, I can set, because, if I'm writing somebody today and set up a March 1st effective date, um, you can put on the e-app, you don't want them charged till March 1st, the first month's premium, because a lot of clients don't like to be charged. If I'm writing somebody today, they were just charged for their other premium February 1st. And then if they get charged 2 weeks later, they don't like that. So I can put a March
Right.
1st effective date, March 1st draft date. And, for those newer agents who need the advance, Americo advances you before, they've even gotten the money from the client, which is nice too. So
Yeah.
that's a benefit that they have. But man, it all comes back to that bonus for me.
Yeah.
And
I don't
anybody
blame you.
knows me, anybody who knows me knows I'm a guy who loves trips, so I'm always looking at companies and their trips. But, if I can get $20,000 in 6 months, I can go anywhere that I want. So,
Right. And that's an interesting point because you have kids and not all trips allow you to take your whole family with you. And
exactly.
so, yeah, that bonus is a nice alternative. You can choose what you want to do and take your whole family.
Yeah, and also Jeff and John, they've got a real good relationship going with Americo. So
Yeah.
Americo's really agent friendly. So if we have any problems, we're able to get a hold of the people over there, get stuff fixed. And I've actually had several policies that were declined that we were able to get approved once an underwriter's looked at it. So that's nice to have
Awesome.
that relationship over there that you don't get with some of the quote unquote larger companies. So
Yeah, I hear you, especially when you call in and it's like trying to figure out what numbers to press to actually get to a person. So,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So just like a silly question, how do you do the e-app? So how do you prefer to do the signature, like voice or electronic? What's the process for you
I
there?
have an iPad, a touchscreen iPad. So I just have them sign right on my iPad. It's real easy. Another nice thing too is if I like to do it on the iPad and everything, but you can also do a paper app, just get the signatures, fax it in, and they do it the same way. They just, it's an instant decision. So you'll know within 2 days of whether or not the client's approved. Because there's sometimes, that I'm in a rural area where, I don't have cell service, so I can't get a hotspot. I have a Verizon phone and an AT&T phone, just so that way I can try to have a hotspot no matter where I'm at. But sometimes I can't, so I can just have them sign the paper app, fax it in. I'll know within a couple days. They never
Hey,
call the clients to ask them questions or anything like that. So for me, it all comes back to knowing that when I leave the house, everything's done. I don't have to worry about underwriters calling my clients or, them having to wait on anything. Everything's done in the house.
hey, that's real dedication. 2 cell phones, man.
I have to.
That's awesome. Um, okay, well, just to wrap things up, what would you say to any other agents who don't currently offer Americo, Great Southern Life right now, just because they think that they have plenty of options for their clients?
If you're selling face to face to your clients, this is a company you have to get. The e-app's really easy. I mean, to me, there's no reason to submit an e-app, wait 3 or 4 days on an approval, or wait for an underwriter to call the client. If you're there meeting with them and can get an instant decision, it's so nice when I drive home after a long day knowing that the 7 or 8 policies I've got approved are already approved. I've already got their other company canceled. I know I'm getting paid on them. It's done. I don't have to wait, 2 or 3 days, give them a follow-up call, hope they haven't got mad that the underwriter didn't call or ask some
Mm.
questions they didn't like. I know everything's done. So it's definitely a company you need to have in your belt. It's my go-to company right now. I plan on writing 500,000 with them this year because with that bonus and how easy it is, it's too nice to pass up.
Yeah, I don't think your number one spot's going anywhere.
No, so when the new bonus comes out, starts March 1st. So the number one spot's already spoken for, but there's spots 2, 3, 4, and 5 left for you guys to take.
All right. Well, thanks for talking about this with me. I'm sure a lot of agents will find this helpful. So,
Thank you.
all right. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.